So I was challenged by the owners to create something unique and challenging and fun. We toured at several different putting courses that are here in Arizona, and I think the one that stood out the most to them was the putting course at Desert Highlands, which happens to be designed by Gary Panks, who I worked for 7 years. And you know, it's a big putting green, and it's got a lot of mounting and undulation, and I think that's kind of what drove us. They didn't want something just flat and boring. They want something cool and unique that the residents will have a lot of fun playing.
You know, I never played Desert Highlands, but I bet this is more difficult.
It might. I don't know if it's more difficult. It's a little shorter than Desert Highlands. Desert Highlands is probably 2.5 times the size of this, so the holes are a lot longer. But you know, we were kind of set by some boundaries we had, and we had to do the best with what we had to do. There is 8 feet of elevation change between the low spot on this putting course and the high spot, which is a lot of grade to make up in a putting green. So that was a real challenge, was how to you know, keep this playable. And that low spot happens to be in the middle of the green, and the high spot's on one of the other corners. So that was a real challenge.
Yeah, it's a beautiful design. What was your thought process on a couple of these islands in the middle?
You know, we kind of went back and forth on the islands in the middle, whether we were going to have the islands or have it as one big green. And I think it was just a matter to break it up a little bit, to, you know, how it's set up and to move things around. And I think now that I look back at it, it was the right decision. It just breaks it up and gives it some cool texture and color, and really sets this place apart from anything else.
Yeah, I agree. It is beautiful.
You know, we couldn't plant any trees in here because the shade issue with dealing with growing grass. That's why we use the fence post cactus to get some vertical element in here. And you know, we had to take out a couple of trees. The shade would have just not allowed the turf to grow.
So Gary, how was construction? Did you come out a lot?
Yeah, so we had a certified golf course builder. Wadsworth Golf Construction built this. They've built probably, I don't know what their number is, 700-800 golf courses. So really experienced group of guys that I've done a lot of work with, which I was glad to have them on the project. We built this green following the USGA recommendation for putting green construction. So it's got 4 inches of gravel and 12 inches of a sand root zone mix. And we used a ceramic product called Profile inside that sand layer instead of an inorganic or an organic peat moss. So it turned out great. The growing was good. The Profile guys give us a lot of support, and you know, it was a good product to use, and gonna go a long ways in the longevity of the green. So yeah, I came out. I was probably out, you know, 2 or 3 times a week. I don't live too far from here, so I was out quite a bit. Made a lot of little tweaks in the dirt. Had a really good shaper guy by the name of Tim Lyon that was out here, and he caught on to the vision, which is important. You know, to have that understanding of what I want, and you know, gave him a little bit of reins to do what he thought was good too. And so he and I working together, I think, created something pretty cool here. And we used a basketball. I would roll a basketball in the subgrade of the dirt. So we build the green in 16 inches below what we'll finally see in here today. And I used a basketball quite a bit which mimics the way a golf ball rolls. So I was able to work on some of the slopes, some of the areas where the ball is going to roll out, to make sure that if rolling the right speed, it'll stay on the green, and we did that. So there's drainage underneath everything that's about 20 feet on center that goes throughout the whole bottom of this. Our irrigation system is HDP, so it's fused together. It's not glued fittings, so it's a single piece of pipe because that pipe is in the greens and goes through here. Down typical golf construction, that wouldn't be, there's no pipe, irrigation pipe inside the green, but with the size of this and the need for these hunter heads in the middle of the green, we had to do something different. So we have the fused pipe, which is set into the gravel and then it comes up to all the heads.
It's pretty high tech.
Yeah, it is. So we got new wireless controller from Hunter here on this property, and we got ability to, we have what Jeff, you said 35 valves, I think. So we're able to really control a lot of our water, really detailed. So that we're only watering the areas we need to water if we're watering some hot spots or whatever. So got a lot of good control on irrigation.
Very nice.
The irrigation system was designed by Marvin Mills, who's a local golf irrigation consultant, a good friend of mine that I do a lot of work with, and he spent quite a bit of time out here staking it. They GPS every head in, and the contractor has a tolerance of plus or minus 4 inches, I think, to get the head in the same spot. So a lot of tight control so that the design and the head spacing and all that is set really good.
Wow.
So the routing of the golf course, so I designed this to be a reversible 18. So there's really 18 holes that was designed. It's reversible, so it can be played in complete reverse. We've laid out another 9-hole golf course, and then I think Jeff, you're going to have a superintendent's choice 9, so that the golfer has something every week will be different, so that they're not playing the same golf course every week. So that'll be really good and give the residents something really unique and fun. If it was the same thing every week, it might get a little boring. Right. So that was the goal. When we laid out the 9-hole, it was pretty fun. We laid it out in the field, and we just took our putters and said, we're going from here to here, and how does it play? And there's some dog legs and some wild rides, and it'll be a fun challenge. Maybe even more fun than the 18-holer.
Original 18. It's going to be challenging, I know that. I just hope they have a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was meant to have fun. I think, I would encourage the residents that if you're out here and you're with a buddy or two playing, and there's nobody there, just go wherever you want. Just pick a hole and go, and that's part of the fun of this putting course, is that you can do whatever you really want to. I know that there will be a routing that'll be set up for tournament play and all that type of stuff, but the reality is, you can play where you want to. So there's both 1 and 10 start from the same point, which is right over our shoulder by the ironwood. So if there's a group that's going off on 1 and you want to go and start on 10 and go the opposite direction, well, that's you can do that. And so this is the place for the residents to just enjoy it and have a lot of fun.